Welcome back to this episode of RADBMX Builds, and we got something very special for you today. We're going to be talking about not only a little bit of the history of SE racing, but we're going to compare two of the most iconic models under that brand, the P.K Ripper and the Quadangle. If you've ever done any research, I'm sure you're well aware of the history behind it, but let's first talk about the Quadangle. The Quadangle was released in 1979 for the pro BMX racer Stu Thompson. Stompin' Stu Thompson rode the Quadangle, the STR1, to many championships over the years. And as you know, SE brought that bike back out, the return of the STR-1 Quadangle, and they only made 300 of those bikes. I happen to have 2 of them. We're gonna debut one in my collection that is baby blue with gold components. So I've modified it a bit from how you would buy it from SE, and then we're gonna talk about the P.K Ripper. Okay, both of these iconic models from SE were reissued in a repop, newer version of the old iconic bikes from 1979. However, they've been updated with modern geometry, threadless 1 1/8 headsets, sealed bearings, larger seat post diameters, and a lot of different changes. So let's take a look at these bikes one-on-one. Okay, the first bike up is going to be the 2020 Stu Thompson STR1, and this is in baby blue with a lot of gold components. I like the details like the Stu Thompson ODI mushroom grips, and then it's got the SE Power Wing bars. This comes with the cowboy cut front forks on it and the old school knobby tires similar to the ones that Stu rode back then. Also, Stu used Redline flight cranks. So these are the newer Redline flight cranks, but I bought them for this build just to better replicate what Stu would have ridden. And then I did a gold and silver fluted seat post, and it came with this Cashamax SE seat. They did do some modern upgrades like the V brake instead of the side pull brake, but I added the high flange jelly bean cutout sealed bearing hubs and gold wheels. All the gold components like the Neptune chainring, SE pedals, the SE stem and headset, I added all of that to the bike. It did come with some limited production, brownish colored anodized headset, seat post clamp, and bearing cups, but I took all those off. Then I went with the iconic Desert Camouflage SE pad set that matched their tour bus from back then, because I thought that was a really cool look. So this is a newer bike, but that is a very awesome representation of the original Stu Thompson 1979 STR. The SE P.K Ripper, named after no other than legend Perry Kramer. This bike also came out in 1979, and the P.K Ripper and the Quadangle competed with the riders Perry Kramer and Stu Thompson for that championship spot back and forth throughout the years on several different BMX tracks. I've been blessed and lucky enough to meet both Perry Kramer and Stu Thompson, and I own a couple Quadangles and a couple P.K Rippers. The P.K Ripper I'm going to show you today is the very limited re-release 2011 P.K Ripper in baby blue and gold. Okay, this 2011 SE P.K Ripper is probably one of my favorite bikes in the collection, and I built this from a frame fork set. I added the old school sponge type grips because they really have a nostalgic thing for me. I had a pair back then. And then I added all the gold parts and components. I got these black and gold pads. And then I added an SE gold stem and SE bearing cups in gold. And then I went ahead with the same type of wheels, high flange jelly bean cutout sealed bearing hubs, gold hoops. And if you've noticed, the color on this is different than the Quadangle. And that's just SE changing up their blues. They haven't used the same blue with every time they've made a blue bike. It's changed 3 or 4 times. I am using the same SE Cashamax seat as the Quadangle, but I'm using a Cook Brothers seat post. which is really rad. Gold SE seat clamp, and then an SE disc and spider, SE V-ridge cranks, and SE bear trap pedals. Another one of my favorite features on both of these bikes is the loop tail rear end. I love loop tail frames, and the majority of my bikes have those. And a big shout out to Mr. Dice Guy for the brake end cap and the valve stem cap on this bike. It looks really good on here, matches perfect. I've got V-brakes, and this bike, the balance and the colors are just one of my favorite. Okay, which one are you gonna choose? I think I'm gonna go P.K Ripper. Even though I love the frame on the Stu Thompson, on the Quadangle, I just love the P.K Ripper, and that's being a little biased because I had one. But make sure you get over to RADBMXBUILDS.com and get some merch. And please hit that subscribe button. We're growing quick, and I want you in the family, so click that subscribe. Costs you absolutely nothing. And we'll see you later, and as always, stay rad.